Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Concern Podcast, where we unpack political, social, economic, and cultural stories shaping our world. I am Emmanuel Taban. Now, a very interesting story. In the last few days, we have heard all over the media, and in fact, I don't know in whatever ways you're getting the information, but at least what I've known is that there has been this unfiltered and just rampant information coming all over about the series of places being captured by the SPLA-IO and threats of these forces advancing to major cities like Juba and Bor. And this has caused uncomfort. I mean, when you rely on information on social media, it becomes very hard to distinguish which one is real and which one is fabricated. And but the truth of the matter is that, yes, there are a series of confrontations going across the country between the SPLA-IO or the SPLA-IO and the South Sudan Army, the SSPDF, the South Sudan People's Liberation, or the South Sudan People's Defense Forces, rather. The reality is that there is this confrontation going on across different parts of the country. Northern parts of the country, mainly in Bor or in Jonglei State generally, even in central equatorial states, in parts of Morobo and specifically Panyume and all this has been happening. And it seems like it's getting real because we have seen several informations coming out on different media platforms that the SPLA-IO are actually taking the consideration of advancing this conflict from those specific regions or states and areas, and they are trying to advance towards Juba and other major towns like Bor. And because this appears to be a very serious case, the South Sudan People's Defense Forces under the Chief of Defense Forces, the CDF, that is Paul Nang, has temporarily shifted his office, I would say. Literally, that's how I would call it. He has shifted his office from Juba, and he is right now stationed in Jonglei State because there are a series of conflict that are emerging in that part of the country, in northern parts of the country. We have had lots of conflicts in parts of Urol. We've had conflicts in Ward, in Drop Corner. We've had some in Pajud and in different parts. And recently there is one that is happening in Duke County of Jonglei State. And the SPLA-IO forces have taken over control of Duke County, part of Duke County maybe. And this is the same case with the scenario in Panyume, that is in Morobo County, where the SPLM forces have also claimed control of Panyume in Morobo County. And this seems to have angered the SSPDF, especially Paul Nang, and for this reason he has moved his office to Jonglei State. He brought in different parts of the army from different divisions to actually be stationed there and therefore go and face the SPLA-IO forces. He brought in parts of Division 2, Division 5, and Division 12 forces to go and face the SPLA-IO. But the biggest question here is whether these SSPDF forces are well equipped to actually face the SPLA-IO, because Paul Nang is saying he promised to give to actually extinguish or just wipe away the SPLA-IO in 1 week. While addressing the soldiers, SSPDF forces, he told them that the war in Bor, that is in Jonglei State, is only meant for 7 days. So in a week time, they are going to wipe out the SPLA-IO forces there. But I mean, we all know how the SPLA-IO forces operate as well. I mean, these are people who are trained, initially part of the army, who probably defected, and they are well-trained people, probably having all the ammunitions needed. And let's see if this is going to work according to the plan that Dr. Paul Nang had actually put on his work plan of doing it in a 1 week time. But I feel that there is need for the SSPDF to make a very serious consideration and make sure that they are in control of some of these major places in the country, because an advancement of SPLA-IO forces to Juba and other major cities would definitely mean a full return to war. Let's take an example. If the SPLA-IO forces meant their intentions of advancing towards Juba and they started, a fight in Juba, and we can just imagine the kind of situation that is going to erupt there, that is going to happen. We will have the entire city gotten itself into conflict and fights, and you would see that the situation would be very ugly right there in Juba. But also, an outbreak of war in Juba would mean that the rest of the country is going to be unsafe. We'll have, because we know all what Juba is, a capital city that is the center of almost everything. It's the administrative center, it is the business center, it is the epitome of every kind of important thing. And therefore, an outbreak of war in Juba would definitely take the country back into war. So therefore, the SSPDF has the obligation to protect the city. But I'm not trying to diminish the reason as to why the SPLA-IO are trying to advance to Juba. I mean, they have their own reasons. They say the reason why they want to get to Juba is to probably topple Kiir's government, because the government of Kiir has not once, not twice, but so many times failed to actually take the country to the next step of progress. And to the SPLA-IO, whatever the government is doing is bullshit. That is what they are doing. There's no way they won an elections this year. They are not so much satisfied with the way how the government is trying, or the SPLM in government is trying to rep the peace agreement by taking out some crucial parts of the agreement. They're not much satisfied with the way how the government is intentionally, for political reasons, trying to detain their leader, that is Machar. And these are some of the reasons that actually all comes together and appears to be legit for the SPLA-IO to actually advance towards Juba and stage war there. But yes, I'm not saying that they don't have the reasons. They do have reasons, which to them is legitimate. But also, the government of South Sudan has the right to protect people, to protect their property, by making sure that there is nothing that happens in Juba, right? So it is entirely up to these two forces to see which one works for them. The SSPDF has the responsibility, as enshrined in the constitution, to protect civilians, to protect their property. And the SPLA-IO, in their own right, just like the way they say that there is intentional way of the government not taking consideration of what is in the peace agreement. They're trying to rep the agreement, trying to change articles in their favor, having elections without some of the major prerequisites met. And to them, they have reasons to advance to Juba and other parts of the country, or cause havoc. But just like the way they do have that, the government and the SPLA or the SSPDF forces have the rights equally to protect people and their property. And that is what is happening right now. Let's see if the SSPDF is able to take control back of those major areas that are the SPLA-IO have taken control over. But the chief of defense forces, the CDF, promised that this would only be a 1 week operation, just to wipe out the SPLA-IO forces. But let's see if this will happen, or if the SSPDF is going to be challenged by the SPLA-IO. But I feel that, of course, the SPLA-IO have all what it takes to engage the SSPDF in an equally very, very challenging war. But let's see what is going to happen. Thanks, guys. This is my take on this story developing. Write down in the comment section what do you think about it. Until next time, I'm Emmanuel Taban, and this is the Concern Podcast. Before we close today's episode, here's a quick message from our sponsor, oneit.co. If you've been planning to build a website, but the cost has been holding you back, oneit.co makes it affordable and stress-free this time around. Whether you are an individual, a non-profit organization, or a business, oneit.co designs professional websites starting from as cheap as $250. Individuals can actually launch with a starter website of up to 7 pages and a free email, or choose an advanced option with unlimited pages, a professional portfolio, and branding support. For non-profit organizations, they can select flexible packages from basic websites to premium solutions with e-commerce features and ongoing support. And for business companies, oneit.co delivers company-ready website with hosting, staff training, and multilingual options and online stores. And the best part of it is actually that you can build your dream website within your budget. oneit.co is an affordable, accessible, and professional partner. And to get started, you can actually visit oneit.co or email them at info@oneit.co, or you can get in touch with them through their WhatsApp number at +12265043322. oneit.co, proudly affiliated with Jobs to Apply. And if you're wondering of what I'm talking about, here are some samples of website created by oneit.co. You can see them right here.